Well, now it's time for the opera quiz. Our panelists today include New York City Opera dramaturg Corey Ellison, artist-manager Damon Bristow, and opera aficionado Benjamin Torbert, an assistant professor of linguistics at the University of Missouri St. Louis. Let's go now to William Berger in List Hall.
Thanks, Margaret. And our host today, direct from starring in the season premiere of Der Fliegende Holländer last night, soprano Deborah Voigt.
Thank you, Will. All right, panelists, you are opera experts. And in one way, that puts you at a disadvantage. You usually know what's going to happen in any opera you go to see. Just imagine if you didn't know the story of Tosca, and you were shocked to discover Mario really was executed. Is there an opera you wish you didn't know so you could get that kind of fresh effect?
I think that any Puccini opera, really. I mean, Butterfly, if you didn't know what happened in Butterfly, it would be a total shock. I would be floored and cry every time. I'm sure some people cry every time, I don't, but I would be floored.
Corey?
Well, actually, I've started writing synopses for City Opera that contain as few spoilers as possible, because we love to get people in who haven't seen operas before. You know, if you go to the movies, you don't want to know what happens at the end, so why not opera as well? So it's enough about the plot that you know if you're going to like it or not, but then, you know, you get to have the surprise at the end.
It's a great idea. And Benjamin, what do you think?
One way to approach this is, how did you feel the first time you actually did see a particular opera? Like when I was young, and coming from a sort of waspy Northern European background, Ernani blew me away. I'm like, that guy really did kill himself because that other guy blew a horn. And that's where it was. So it was shocking for me.
Now, Paul Kutner of Brooklyn, New York, listens to us on WQXR. And he's interested in arias or vocal solos that fill in the plot with backstory. For example, I get to relate a lot of great backstory in Senta's Ballad in The Flying Dutchman. Panelists, what are some other operas that have good musical moments of backstory? And what makes them so effective? Corey?
Well, in Die Walküre, another one of yours, Sieglinde, Die Männer Sippe, she tells the story of you know, how she was at this wedding and the old man, the mysterious old man came in, and that gives a lot of backstory. But of course the Ring is filled with the forest bird and all of these characters who exist basically to give the backstory.
I think, going with the Puccini theme today, Bohème, Mimi has her first aria, and she explains what she does, who she is, and it goes through the whole aria in a beautiful way and explains to Rodolfo what she does, and it's exquisite.
I've always loved the Queen of the Night's first aria. It's such a weird role because she's got two arias and then comes back for a little bit at the end, and it sets up the backstory with Pamina and Sarastro. And you actually believe for a while, if you've never seen it before, that the Queen of the Night and the ladies are the good guys, before we find out that that's not the case later in the opera.
Corey, what makes Sieglinde's narrative so effective? Why do you think it's good?
Well, first of all, the music is amazingly beautiful. But also, she's telling this story. This goes towards figuring out eventually that she and Siegmund are brother and sister. That they have the same father, you know. So it really does. It certainly starts the audience thinking, and it sets off the idea of the Welsüngs.
I think my favorite part about that is in the moment when she's talking about this man coming in with one eye, you know, with the patch over his eye, and you hear the theme for Valhalla, and we don't know that yet that that's Wotan, but Wagner has a brilliant way of writing it in the music that this is that character, and she doesn't even know who it is.
All right, Eleanor Eisenmenger of Santa Fe is interested in characters like Tosca, who have spectacular jumps off of high places. I have jumped myself off of the Castel Sant'Angelo. All right, just the stage version. And in fact, I just leapt into the North Sea last night in Dutchman. Craig Rutenberg, the Met's Director of Music Administration, is at the Yamaha to play some leaping selections. Or should I say leaping selections?
Right.
You tell us the character and the opera. Ready, maestro? And we've stumped them. All right, we have a hint for you. This depressed lady jumps to her death off of a pier into the Volga River. Corey?
It's Katya Kabanova, Janacek.
Excellent. Maestro? Here's another suicide in Russia. This is on the Winter Canal in St. Petersburg. Damon?
Peak Dam
By?
by Tchaikovsky.
Right.
All right, excellent. Maestro Rutenberg? There we go. This lovelorn maid leaps into an avalanche. Corey?
It's Lavalli.
Excellent.
Catalani, you know.
By?
Catalan.
Yes, and it was done here as recently as 1909.
Wow, just
recently.
yesterday. Yeah, that recently. Now, why do you suppose they're always women? You know, I'd like to hear about a man jumping off of a cliff for a change. But that's not going to happen, so Maestro, give us another one. Well, that's sort of a man. This boy jumps out of a lady's bedroom into a flower bed. Corey.
That's Caravino in Le Nozze di Figaro.
That one
and
was-
it's not quite as tragic a leap as the others. we've heard.
No, that's right.
It can be.
That one was kind of easy. But anyway, let's have another one. All of the panelists have their hands up. Ho-yo to ho. This leap sets the whole universe on fire, and it is Benjamin.
Brunhilde's Immolation. Goethe Dämmerung.
Bye.
Wagner.
Would have been awesome if that had stumped him.
Great. Another one of my roles takes a leap. What is it with me and jumping off cliffs?
You must do it very well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, I'd like to take a moment to thank Craig Rutenberg on that, because those were some great selections.